Because at this rate, you guys do not respect Africa for shit. All you respect Africa for is the money Africa gets you, for the money Africa brings you. Hello everybody, in today's video, we are going to be looking at the new Scramble for Africa. But to really understand the new Scramble for Africa, we have to go back in time. Previously on the Scramble for Africa, the year is 1884. The UK, Belgium, France, Germany, Italy, Spain, and Portugal decided it was a good idea to invade, conquer, and colonize Africa. But why, you may ask? Because they needed or wanted Africa's raw material for the second industrial revolution. Basically, they needed Africa's help. So when we say Africa is literally the backbone of Western civilization, that is facts. Facts upon facts. That's true. In the 19th century, that is from 1808 to the 1900, European explorers and missionaries began mapping the interior of Africa, which revealed that Africa is a raw material heaven. Basically, Africa is full of raw materials that they needed. And so, Europe came in with their religion, killed, indoctrinated Africans, and stole their raw materials. But then, the scramble ended in 1914. So we thought, they made us believe that the colonization of Africa was over. The exploitation of Africa was over. The stealing of Africa's raw materials or the interference in Africa was over. But no, this is the new Scramble for Africa, and who is thieving the continent in 2025? They told us colonialism was over, but in 2025, Africa is still being looted by the West, by China, by corporations, raking in trillions, while Africans are suffering. By the way, this isn't history repeating itself. You might think that this is history repeating itself all over. Nah, this is not history repeating itself. This is the same history. This is the same theft repackaged for the digital age. But come to think of it though, how can one continent provide for both the mechanical age and the digital age? For the West, mind you, but somehow we are still struggling to industrialize, to build infrastructures, to develop common development, to develop, just to have something for everybody. We lack that, but we are the sole providers. I can most definitely say we are the sole providers for Western civilization, but we don't have no civilization. How? It's either somebody is doing something to us, it's either somebody is manipulating us, or we are just the stupidest people on earth. And I don't think we are the stupidest people on earth. Basically, it all boils down to this. It all comes down to this. We are blessed. When I say blessed, I mean like the highest level of the word. We are blessed with raw materials. We are blessed with natural resources. But we are cursed. Like when I say cursed, we are really cursed with politicians. Politicians are our downfall. But somehow they are the richest people. Shaking my head. Shaking my fucking head. Your electric cars, your smartphones, your so-called green revolution are powered by African raw materials, are powered by African blood. But for some reason, when you see an African person, when you see a black person, you treat them like shit. Right now, over 500,000 children in Congo are mining cobalt for $2 a day. $2 a day. While your Apple, your Tesla, your Samsung, and all those other phones, they cash in big time. Look, I'm not saying don't cash in big time, don't do business like that, but do business like you're doing business with a partner, with somebody that you respect. Stop stealing, and while you're stealing, people are dying and you don't care. You know about it, but you don't care. Do business like you're doing business with somebody that you respect. Because at this rate, you guys do not respect Africa for shit. All you respect Africa for is the money Africa gets you, for the money Africa brings you. It's good for everybody to have the cell phones, to have Teslas, to have electric cars and all that stuff, but everybody should benefit. I'm saying this because the people in Congo are not feeling the love. They are not feeling like they actually have something precious. Because 75% of the world's cobalt comes from Congo. That's more than half of the whole world's cobalt. But yet, have you been to Congo lately? Just Google Congo right now and look and see the atmosphere. It does not look like a place where the new world depends on. It does not. And you dare call it sustainability? Well, we call it slavery. You say you are saving the planet, but where is our power? Why is it that when you're saving the planet, we only see the results in the Western countries? We don't see the results of you saving the planet in Africa. It's like Africa is a different planet, the mining planet. All Africa is responsible for is the extraction of raw materials. Okay, you are saving the planet. Where is our power? Because 650 million Africans still live in the dark, but yet we are the major providers of your civilization. How is that fair? And the West is not the only ones to be talked about here. Let's look at China's friendship trap. As Africans, let's not be fooled by China's no strings attached deals. Let's not be fooled by these deals. Beijing has pumped over $200 billion in Africa. And what happens when we cannot pay up? They take everything. Zambia lost its national power company. Kenya spends 70% of its tax revenue paying off Chinese loans. Have you been to China lately? Have you seen pictures or videos of China on the YouTubes, on the internet? They are a superpower. America does not even compare. Come closer. China controls 40% of Africa's mines. China controls 40% of Africa's mines. And that is the second proof that Africa has everything. We basically contributed in building China. Our natural resources, our mineral resources contributed in building China to what it is right now. But where is Africa? Fun fact, China and Africa were at a relatively similar level of development in the 1960s and 70s. But now, China is the second largest economy in the world. Where is Africa, you ask? We are still struggling with industrialization. We are still struggling with infrastructures. Now, China is the one coming to Africa to build our infrastructures. Of course, for something else, for, nothing for nothing. Life no balance at all. And I will say this again. You see, this thing that China is doing to Africa right now, this is not aid. You might see this as help. China is helping Africa to develop all those things. Nah, it is not aid. It is economic warfare. And of course, all these have consequences. They are literally stealing our future. 40 million hectares of Africa's best farmland, enough to feed 400 million people, gone. Our villages drowning in climate disasters we didn't cause. Shell, a British company, made $5 billion from drilling oil in Nigeria. But Nigeria suffers the consequences. You see, Africa suffers 85% of climate-related deaths, but only produces 3% of global emissions. So you may be asking yourself, but why do these people care less about us? Because our lives are disposable. If you have this skin, if you have the skin color, your life is disposable. You are not important. So you're not an important person. That's why I said in my last video, Africa is the only place, is the only safe place for black people. The earlier black people realize this, the better for everybody. I am telling you, they do not care about Africans. They do not care about Africa. We are disposable. We are garbage. For example, France still drains $600 million. What the? Million? $1 billion a year from its former colonies in Africa through the CFA franc. Countries like Benin, Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast, Guinea-Bissau, Mali, Niger, Senegal, Togo. That's the West African Economic and Monetary Union. And the other one is the Central African Economic and Monetary Community, which consists of Cameroon, Central African Republic, Chad, Republic of the Congo, Equatorial Guinea, and Gabon. So from these 14 countries through the CFA franc, they collect $600 billion a year. The US funds counterterrorism in Africa. I mean, you've heard of this. Also, while guarding Chevron's oil fields in Africa. Britain shelters Glencore, which has looted $250 billion from the DRC. $400 billion has been stolen from Africa since 2000. What about the World Bank? It forced Ghana to sell its water just for Ghana to get a loan. You see, with all this, somehow they call it business. They actually think this is business. This is terrorism. Economic terrorism. This is economic terrorism. This is not business. So it's high time we stop all this complaining about things. If you are an African in the diaspora or wherever you are in Africa and outside Africa, you have a duty from now on. If you see advertisements or any publications of all these companies, the Glencore, the Apple, everybody that is thieving from Africa, it's your duty to start boycotting them, or at least leave them a message, write a comment and let them know, we know what you're doing in Africa. We know. Leave them a very delicious comment in their comment section. Any publication that you see that they publish, leave them a very, very delicious comment. All right. Every African, it's your duty to let people know that we know what they're doing in our continent. We definitely need to stop. As Africans, we also definitely need to stop voting for all these puppets. It's high time we stop, because the world out there right now is treating us like shit. We have to take control of our continent, because if we do not respect our continent, nobody's going to respect us. I mean, that's what I think. Let me know in the comment section what you think is the solution for all this. And I intend to do this type of videos every week, so do like, comment, share, subscribe. Yeah, do all that fun stuff. Most importantly, leave a comment and let me know what you think. I wanna really see where your mindsets are. I'll be seeing you in the next one.